Welcome to another hsextra.com high school football video, Coach's Clipboard Edition. I am Joe Serrera, and I'm joined this week by Eastern Guilford Wildcats coach Tony Aguilar. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us, Coach.
Thank you, Mr. Sierra. Appreciate being here.
After 0-3 start, your Wildcats are riding a 6-game winning streak. You've outscored mid-state 3A opponents 300-56. Obviously, the offense is clicking. What's this Eastern Guilford team doing well in general that stood out in this dominating run you've had?
I think we're just, again, it starts up front. I think our offensive line, our big cats are playing really well. They're the catalyst to our team.
Mm-hmm.
So them guys handling up front and, the games won and lost in the trenches, they've been able to let us be balanced. Tyreek's having a heck of a game or heck of a year so far throwing the ball. And, we got some skinny guys that can go get it. And, getting Jaden back, J. Cole with our two-headed monster back there in the backfield has been really nice for us. But, again, it starts up front. And our O-line and our D-line have kind of set the tone for the year. And that's where we've gotten a lot better.
Where does this team still need to improve? Obviously, you've got a huge game Friday night against Dudley on the road for a conference championship and the playoffs ahead of that.
Oh, man, I don't think you can ever stop getting better. We played Smith last week, and, people see a certain kind of score, but we had a lot of penalties. And, we were able to overcome those penalties, but we know down the road we're not going to get away with those. So, eliminating penalties, so a lot of it, some of those mental mistakes that we just got to clean up. But, you can never, like I said, last time we did this, you can never tackle enough. You can never force enough turnovers. You can never just make enough big plays. I mean, we did drop a couple balls that could have resulted even more big plays. So just clean that up. And as you know, you just got to keep getting better. And it's starting to get to that fall feeling, that do or die feeling. And then that's where it gets exciting.
9 games, 10 weeks already in the books. The physical pounding takes a toll on any football team by this stage. How are you guys physically?
Everybody's beat up. Coaches are tired. I'm exhausted. And
well, you put in more hours than they do.
That's right. But actually, we had this discussion on Monday. We said, it's week 9. Everybody's banged up. Everybody's sore. Everybody's to that point where we're getting tired of each other. But, you look, and this is the most exciting part. The grass is turning colors and the leaves are turning colors. And, I remember, Coach Kirby used to always say, you're having a good year when you hear Christmas music. So that means you're playing deep in the playoffs. And that's kind of our goal is to hear that music sounding. And, just got to get over the hump of injuries and feeling sorry for yourself and just continue to come to work, man.
Yeah, you talked about that late season thing. I mean, I always hear from coaches, if you're practicing on Thanksgiving Day, maybe you miss a little football or you miss a little turkey, but that's what it's about. If you're practicing, then you had a good year and you're having a good year.
That's right. That's the goal.
Your defense has really complemented that balanced offense well, it seems like. What stood out to you about your guys on that side of the ball?
Man. Our defensive staff, first of all, I think has done a great job thinking outside of the box. Like I said last time, we moved a lot of kids around. We got our offensive line off of our D front, which kind of made us faster. And I think that has been huge for us. We've got a lot of kids. Like I said, we're healthy now. And just it's made a big difference. We stress turnovers a lot in practice and finishing. And, our offense gets credit for a lot of those scores, but we've had at least a special team or a defensive touchdown in just about every one of those wins. So, our defense is creating a lot of turnovers and making a lot of plays. And that's been huge for us because that's been a big way to build momentum throughout a game is a big special teams play or a big defensive play.
Yeah, you mentioned the special teams. Everybody talks about hidden yardage that, it doesn't go with the offensive or defensive yardage, but you can flip the field, change field position, do all kinds of things to either give your guys a short field or give them a long field. And yeah, especially when you're playing a team like Dudley or you're getting into the playoffs, that's huge. This week it is Dudley, the defending state 3A champions. You kind of came down to the last game of the season with them last year as well. It seems like whoever set up the mid-state 3A schedules is setting up a conference championship game each year, and you've got it again. What do you see from this year's edition of the Dudley Panthers?
Let's see. Where do you start? I see size. I see speed. I see kids that can just play. I know Coach Davis does a great job year in and year out. We know they are the defending state 3A champions, and we're not hiding that fact. We know they're still loaded. They have not been scored on in the conference.
Yep.
That's something that we are aware of and know very well. We just feel like they are physical, they're fast, they're strong, they're very sound on defense, and they got some different names on offense. I haven't seen RJ Baker and some of the names that you heard last year, but they got kids that have just stepped in and done a great job. So hats off to them. I know they're going to be looking forward to this game, especially at their house, and it's going to be a crazy environment. So we're just kind of looking forward to getting Friday.
What are some of the keys for your guys against this Dudley team in particular? I mean, you talked about their size and their speed, and they've got a defensive tackle, Logan Wright, who's leading the state in sacks and was an MVP in the state championship game last year. And having to deal with a guy like that as well as all their other speed has to be a challenge.
Oh yeah, Logan, no doubt, is a stud. You watch him on tape, and he definitely sticks out. And I thought even last year's front six is probably one of the best front six I've ever seen in high school football. So, their linebackers got great size. They move well up front. Their defensive ends are tall and lanky, and they fly. They just run well. And I think their secondary. I mean, you got 6-foot corners and a 6-foot safety, and they all move really well. So I think the key for us is on defense. I think we got to make them drive the length of the field. They're a very big play offense. Their quarterback's tall and has got a cannon on him, and he can throw that thing everywhere. And, we just can't give up the big plays, and we got to make them go 75, 80 yards for a drive, for a touchdown. They big played everybody. And for us offensively, we've kind of got to do the same thing. We've got to sustain drives. We've got to keep our offense off on the field, keep our defense off, and just continue to we got to put points on the board, and that's something no one has done yet, and we know that. So that's something that's going to be a challenge for us. And honestly, we feel like the difference is going to come down to special teams. And they got a really good kicker. We feel like we got a pretty strong kicker, and our special teams coordinator does a great job. And so we're just going to have. It's going to come down to turnovers. It's going to come down to field position and who can hit who in the mouth and withstand that.
Well, Friday night, there's a lot of good games in Guilford County, but there's one conference championship game, title on the line. It's at Tarpley Stadium, your Wildcats and the Dudley Panthers. We look forward to covering the game, and we wish you luck in that game and going forward in the playoffs.
Hey, we're excited and excited for the coverage, and I think it's going to be a heck of a game, and hope a lot of people show up and just create a great high school atmosphere for these guys. I think they deserve it.
You're right about that for sure. Thank you for your time, Coach.
I appreciate you.